Hi, so now we've added the strings to our static and the media files, and our project can serve static and the media files now easily. And let's review something. So now we have our product app, and we have a main URL. This URL leads us or help us to treat with the site easily. So if we wanted to open any page, we just have to enter the URL of this page in our browser. So Django works with the URL. So first of all, let's open something in Google to illustrate this point. So I'm going to say how the Django works. And I'm going to open something like this image. So every time you open your browser, this is you actually. You looks great, by the way. So every time you open your browser, the first thing to interact with your request is the URL. So URL takes this request from you, the page you want to open, and send this to views, the Django views. This views at this. If we open our app, we can see this is the views, this views file. So the first thing, the URL, then the views. So let's open this and create. Yeah, I'm gonna add this at the end. So the first thing is the URL. So we must define our URL. Then the Django send this URL to our views. So our views start retrieving those information from models, and these models treat with the database. So second or third is the models. Then those information back again to the views, and these views send those information to the templates. So from views we have templates, and those templates send, or the views send the site with the templates to you again. As we can see, the views send those information to you, but with the templates. So we need to define our URL, then define our views, which retrieve information from models, and add those information onto our front end, then retrieve this information too. So now we have a main URL. So we take a look, we have the main URL on our project. And we need to separate our project URL from the main URL. We need to add a nested URL on our product and connect this URL to our main URL, so that we will make every app stand alone with its URLs and its information. So now we're gonna create a new file in product. I'm gonna say just urls.py with the same name actually as urls.py. As we can see that code, this code has this urls.py OLX and the urls.py for product. So this is the main URL and this is the URL for our product app. So we need to add our URL in this URL. So we're gonna import this both, and I'm gonna say also from .views import. So, or let's say from .import views here. From import views, yeah, just like this. And we need to add two URLs. So now we have products, and we need to open all the products, and we need to open only one product. So we're gonna add two URLs, one for opening the whole product, all the products, and one for opening only one product. So now we're gonna say, so let's copy this URL patterns. Let me see URL patterns equal to, and I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna type both, and this I'm gonna leave it like single quote, and I'm gonna say use dot, and I'm gonna say product list. Yeah, just like this, and I'm gonna give it a name equal to product list. But I'm gonna use underscore actually because we're gonna use this name later. So now we have this URL connected with this view, product list. So let's copy this and let's open our views. So do we have a product list view here? No. So we need to define this product list. I'm going to say div product list, which take a request from us and do nothing right now. So now we've added a new URL on our app, and we've connected this URL with the OLX main URL. And we need to add another path. So I'm going to say both. And in this boss, we need to get the detailed information about this boss. So I'm going to leave it blank also right now. And I'm going to say this is views dot product detail. And I'm going to give it a name equal to product detail. Yeah, just like this. So let's take this product detail and let's create a new view for this product detail. Just like this. So now we have a main URL for OLX, we have a nested URL for our product, and this URL is connected to two views, one for product list and one for product detail. So we need to connect this nested URL to our main URL. So here I'm going to say both. And if we take a look at here, we can include another URL from another URL. So I'm going to say from import include function from Django.urls import include on both. So here we're going to import the include function from Django. Yeah, so we've just imported the include, and we're going to add this just like this. So here I'm going to say products, and we're going to include our app name. Our name is product, so we're going to say product the URLs. Yeah, just like this. So let's save this. So now let's make sure our server is running. Yeah, so now our server is running. So now I've connected our nested URL with our main URL like this. So, but first let's take a look at something. When we retrieve all products, we need nothing. So when we retrieve all products, we need nothing. But when we retrieve a single product, we need to know information about this product. So if we take a look at our front end and if we open single page, as we can see here on the URL, we have we need to know at least the name of the product. So when we open all products, it's like /products, and when we open a single product, we need to know which product we're going to open. So I'm going to select this and supply. So if we're opening all products, we can say /products, just like this. But if we wanted to open a specified product, so we're going to say /products /iPhone, let's say iPhone 6. So now we are opening all the products in the URL, and now we're opening only iPhone 6. So we need to give this information iPhone 6 to our view, so that in the view we retrieve this information using its name or ID or something. So to solve this issue, we're going to use the ID actually. So here I'm going to say int, this is the type of the ID and ID. So now I've added the type of this and its name is ID. So I'm gonna take this ID or receive this ID in the views. So after request, I'm gonna receive an ID. Yeah, just like this. Okay. So now let's print this ID. And let's test this actually. And so now on our browser, we have now a main URL with name of products. So we need to open our local host, then /products, like this. So now we have view error at products because our product list did not return anything because we are leaving it using boss. So it will return nothing actually. Okay, so if we set /1 and if we hit enter, so also the detail return nothing, but if we take a look at our server, we can see that we have one printed on the screen because we said printed ID. So now we have the one on the screen. So if we want to retrieve, let's say iPhone 6, but this is a number actually. We've got an error because this is not a number, so we need a number because we said the type of this is integer. So here I'm gonna say, let's say 1000. So now if we take a look at our server screen, we can see that we can see 1000. So now we've connected our main URL with our nested URL, and we've also created two views, one for product list and one for product detail. So we need to retrieve information now from our models. So now we've created the URLs and the views. We need to retrieve information from our models, then we need to add our templates so that we can see all the products and see only one product and retrieve their information in its page. And we're gonna do this but in the next lecture. See you next lecture.